Your bullfrog on the road again. And a very busy road. And again, we're moving. And again, let's see where we end up. Here's where I ended up. In another backup. Hope I end up someplace better than this. Assuming there is a place better than this. Well, here's a better place. Once again. I've come to see the gentleman in the record shop will buy some of my vinyl off of me. But still don't see any bubbles over there. Not only are there no bubbles, but he tore the roof off the place.
I heard like...
No bubbles, but there's the man. Hey man, what's happening? Hey.
Little repair work, you know, little
What happened to the roof?
Gone.
The roof is gone.
Take it off.
Had to take. Did it rot? Must have rotted, huh?
Everybody, look. I get your clothes up there.
Yeah,
right.
It's a little tiring, I tell you.
Oh, you
Yeah.
it's not fun.
I'll tell you what's really bad. It's carrying notice.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna carry it.
That's a Fred Flintstone sort of thing there, carrying boulders. We gotta be careful putting those boulders back up. Don't want a ton of boulders falling on your head.
Total silence.
Gotta plug the holes and things.
That's right. Yeah. Good for you. Can you nurse Meryl?
She's telling her life story to Barry.
Program. Okay. There you go. Fill out your face again.
Yeah,
That's all right.
Yep, our buddy Barry just gave us some pretty interesting information back there. It turns out that this May, the end of May, around the time of the flood last year, the BBC will be here doing a special on Ellicott City. And maybe they want me to be in it. Yep, the British folks will soon be here. Yep, your bullfrog on BBC. And once again, yes, we love Ellicott City. But what's a potty pop? If you're long in the bathroom, you can have one of those. I guess some folks take long, you know what. And whatever that is. We saw Maxine last we were here. Our doggy friend is still there.
Cutie? You
Hello.
too. I said, hi, cutie, you too. You look nice. Yeah, let me take a picture of you.
But here's what I came for. And they're open for the bullfrog. Love it. Hi, I brought you a few things.
All right, let's see what.
Yeah, vinyl that glows in the dark.
Yeah, no
by
kidding.
Craftwork. Jeez, you still see it glowing.
Yeah, well, ultraviolet will do that.
Right.
In the record business, like 25 years.
25 years in the business. Whoa.
And here,
6
Gonna
years.
check online, see what these records are worth.
you know, they over 25.
Craftwork glow in the dark.
Yeah.
But he played these, so they didn't.
Alrighty. Hey, Jason, we'll see you again, okay? Thanks a lot. Take it easy.
Thank you.
Sure, no problem. I'll bring you some more.
I really appreciate the craft work.
Well, I accomplished what I set out to. Alright, so I guess continue the day. Continue the day. But as I mentioned before, the gentleman back there will take classical albums as well. He will accept classical vinyl for those who might have some. And there's the man again. Hey.
she's running a battery.
Oh, no.
Ready to put the last screw in.
Put the last screw in, okay.
Yeah, last screw.
Okay.
The last
sure.
screw.
Find out. Ignore these guys.
Don't shoot.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's not a bubble gun.
Oh,
Okay.
I wish. Yeah. These are great with the bubble gun. The bubble.
Yeah.
But to think, in May, the BBC will be here looking for your frog.
Barry! Mary! Barry! Hey, Barry!
Nice try.
Over here! That's like... Yeah, that's right.
Our bubble man cometh.
I know.
Now we got all the biker dudes out there. Instead of all the young dudes like Mott the Hoople, all the older dudes. Archive Records. Just made a few bucks selling some vinyl. And again, Taylor's. Been in there before. So I'll forego it this time. But still, it kind of broke my heart parting with that glow-in-the-dark Kraftwerk record. The others I didn't mind so much, but it broke my heart parting with that Kraftwerk that glows in the dark. Well, I'm getting old, don't know how long I'll be around, and as they say, you can't take it with you. You can't take the vinyl with you. Almost 4:30 p.m. as we depart the Ellicott City area. Nice new car just went by the other way. If you saw it. Another cool place there. Last place on earth. That's where you'll find me. And of course, we're again west on the original National Pike. Yep, I prefer the original. Originality counts. Now on modern day US 40, which hits into I-70. And it just did. And over there, an inspection station hardly ever used. Worth the money to put it in? And now the mountains are coming into view. We're not going to climb any though on this trip. At least I don't think. But that reminds me of a song that came out in the 70s by a band called Wishbone Ash. The song's called Ballad of the Beacon. Some safe driving there. Anyway, getting back, there's a line in that song that's something like, say if I go to the mountains, will you still follow me there? That's appropriate. If I go to the mountains, will you also follow me there? Guess I'll get off here and take old US 15. There's one for you. English Muffin Way. As I keep saying over and over, you can't make this stuff up. This is the original southbound US 15. The new road runs parallel about 5 miles to the west, to the left. I mean to the right rather, excuse me. And of course CSX. That's the old main line, this country's first railroad ever. And still runs. And now once again entering Buckeystown, which you've seen before. Old quaint hamlet here. But somebody once asked me on YouTube, what's a hamlet? A little pig, what do you think it is? Not a bad day out there though. Temps in mid-70s for the first time in a couple of weeks. We had some sun earlier, but now it's obscured by clouds. Hey, that's a Pink Floyd album. There's even some farmland left. But after all, without farmland, how are we supposed to eat? Old 15 bears right. On its way to the new 15. Then we come us another road there, but this way is Old Route 15. Heading for Point of Rocks. Aptly named. I thought I'd take somewhat of a ride today. I haven't taken a ride in a while. Plus, not that bad of a day either. Up ahead, once past the B&O Adamstown cutoff, part of the grade there you can see for it. There was a bridge across the road, but it got pulled up in the late 50s or early 60s. And up ahead someplace should be Point of Rocks. And we made it here. And again, the CSX Old Main Line, this country's first railroad ever. Tricky to cross it and shoot the video. And downtown Point of Rocks. Not much to it though. And once again here by the classic Point of Rocks train station. Built in the mid-1800s. And of course, the MARC commuter trains stop here, as you can see. Before the MARC trains ran here, they had old B&O RDCs that they used, rail diesel cars for the commuter service between DC and Martinsburg, West Virginia. The filter was put there about 15-20 years ago. And so was that one. Back in the RDC days, there were no shelters here. Looking southwest towards Washington. And in the woods behind that sign, I'm already hearing spring peepers. Peepers, of course, are little tiny frogs that peep in the spring to attract a mate. But I myself don't need to do that. But interesting how the Old Main Line is this country's first ever railroad, built in 1828. The line to DC came a bit later, 1835. Not much later, but still the Baltimore line is the first. And downtown Point of Rocks again. Oh, deli on the rocks, all right. Up here, modern day US 15. I'm going north on it for about half a mile, and that's it. Gonna take another road after that. The modern day US 15, for those interested. But up ahead, a new traffic circle that was not here on my last pass. All I gotta say is OMG. Alright. But up here is the road that I want though. Around the circle anyway. I got the right of way running the circle. 464. Now around 5:50 p.m. on this Saturday afternoon as we make our way to Brunswick. Haven't seen this part of this road in many moons. Between here and Brunswick, about 30 years. And turning left here takes me into town. Now arriving in Brunswick. Big town, small city. Well, that's what the sign said back there anyway. Another inane circle. Hold on, back at you. And going right takes me to CSX. Sure enough, here it is. Another commuter station for the MARC trains. Let's see what's happening here, if anything. And again, the commuter station. In the distance, I think I see a green block. There towards the west. A green block facing east. Does that mean I'm in for a treat? Those EMDs are still parked there. They've been parked there for a while. Maybe they're helpers for the ridge. There is a ridge between here and Baltimore called Pars Ridge, and trains occasionally need a shove from behind. Brunswick is a nice town, though. It's a typical railroad town, or so many refer to it as. At one time, the Beano Railroad was big here. This parking lot for the commuters was one time a big railroad yard full of tracks. And your home is on the hillside. Yes, at one time this parking lot was all track. Once upon a time. There was a small lot here for the employees, of course, but the rest of the lot, 90% of it was all a yard with many tracks. Still a bit of a yard left down there, but not much. Guess we'll depart. Continue our ride. Alright, let's see where else we can go. Back out the way we came in. And again the traffic circle. But it won't affect me this time. Because they got a right turn lane somewhere. Well, there was, but they closed it off. Jeez. Oh well. We're finally out of here. And up here, the place that caught fire a ways back, but they're rebuilding it. Nope, they didn't rebuild it yet. Still just a mobile thing. I guess I'll head this way. North on Route 17. But directly in front of us, and to the left, looms South Mountain. I thought we weren't going to climb any mountains, but apparently the route back will take us over Catoctin Mountain. And apparently they're developing out here. Hope not too much. As they say, is nothing sacred? Keep the farmland. I guess on the way to Point of Rocks, we curved around Catoctin Mountain. On our way back, we'll be crossing it. Check out the trees. They are budding out. Finally. After all, it is spring. And up here we enter Burkittsville, home of the Blair Witch Project. Who recalls that one from 1999? the Blair Witch Project movie. It takes place here, but just the opening scenes were shot here, nothing else. Funny concrete surface there. Thought I had a flat tire for a second. And some of downtown Burkittsville here. And there. Right by the cemetery where the movie began. The opening scenes were shot right there. And the rest, all shot somewhere else. They claimed that Blair was the old name for Burkittsville, but so far I found no proof to that effect. Supposedly, the Blair Witch is buried back at that cemetery, hence the scenes being shot there. But again, no confirmation on that. So you got me. And more of South Mountain up there. Other stuff too. If you recall, a couple years ago, I brought you this way after a snowstorm, and everything looked pretty nice, being snow covered. Who recalls that trip that I took you on? And now arriving in Middletown. At the light we crossed over the original National Pike, now called Alternate 40. It's the same road we were on in Ellicott City, right here. Same exact road. Ellicott City's about 80 miles to the right. And of course, back in 2016, I took you for a day odyssey over the original National Pike. As you recall, I guess. Interesting barn there. Complete with bovines in the yard. But still, I prefer houses like that as opposed to the new stuff. But still, who recalls that snow ride I took you on through here 2 Januaries back? Looked real nice with snow on the ground around here. Still, a shame they don't make them like that anymore. Sunset colors. Over the mountain, over South Mountain. I-70 up here. But first, a pit stop at the Golden Arches. Thanks to time lapse, all done. Don't you love when I do the time-lapse thing? Right up for the freeway, turn left. And now 7:05 p.m. as you pick up Interstate 70. 120 miles so far. And over there, the Tonkton Mountain, which we're about to cross. Up ahead, our crossing of it. So I guess we'll cross one mountain today, after all. And now down the other side. I passed there earlier. That's where we got off to pick up old US 15. Got a bright sun behind me though. Whoa. like it's on fire. Glad I'm heading east and not west. But even facing forward, you can tell the orange glow from the sunset. I guess if the camera's picking it up. Almost sunset, all right. The sun's almost down. And up here, one more seldom used inspection area. They spent millions putting those things in, then they stop using them. What's the logic in that? And now surmounting the ridge that those CSX helpers are used for. We did this earlier too, on the way out. Now the sun's practically gone, really totally gone, as we begin losing light. Name of that place looks familiar. Have I ever been there before? Looks awfully familiar, that name. Watch this biker here. Hey, biker dude. Well, how do you address a biker? I'm back in the Baltimore area. Gonna pick up 695, but we're not going to New York. That's another odyssey. Yeah, why not? New York Odyssey. I do have footage posted from there of the Empire State Building from back in '97. And I've got a good view of the World Trade Center when it was still there. Check my channel. And up there was the first traffic camera in the state of Maryland. First one ever, back in the 80s. And folks protested, saying it's a privacy invasion. Now the cameras all over the place. Now what's that glow there? Can't be the moon, wrong angle. Can't be the sun, it's down. Any astronomers out there who can tell us? And now it's become a night odyssey. But we're almost back though, so it won't be much of a night odyssey. And finally, almost back to our part of the world. And back in the hood. After almost 200 miles of ecstasy. How about that? But again, thank you very much for riding along. Always happy to have you all. Yep. Interesting, selling some vinyl to the gentleman at the record shop. But I almost wish it didn't part with that glow-in-the-dark craft work. Oh no, I have seller's remorse. But anyway, still, thanks again for the privilege of your time, and we hope to see you again.